Hello and welcome to our channel, Shakespeare's Plays and Summaries, where we go over the works of William Shakespeare. Be sure to subscribe and check out our library of videos. Alright, let's just jump right in. You think your love life is complicated? Well, try being a teenager in ancient Athens. Seriously, in the world of A Midsummer Night's Dream, love isn't just a feeling, it's an act of rebellion. It's a high-stakes game against a legal system that says your dad can basically mold you like a piece of wax or just break you. So yeah, this isn't some cute, fluffy comedy. We're talking about a story where everything, literally everything, is on the line. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. I mean, a simple no to your dad's choice for your husband could literally get you a death sentence. And you've got this razor-thin line between the city, civilization, and this wild magical forest right outside. Crossing that line, well, that's about to change everything for everyone involved. You're just not gonna believe how fast a simple family argument spirals into a full-blown supernatural circus. It's pure chaos. So let's talk about love under Athenian law, or as we're calling it, a daughter's nightmare. And at the center of this nightmare is our first character, Hermia. When we meet her, she is in a terrible spot. Her dad, Aegeus, has picked out this guy, Demetrius, for her to marry. But Hermia? Nope. Her heart belongs to someone else entirely, a guy named Lysander. And check out the options she's given. This is her ultimatum from the Duke of Athens himself. Option 1, marry Demetrius. Okay. Option 2, literally die the death. Or, I guess there's a third option. She could be locked away in a convent for the rest of her life as a barren sister. So marry the guy you don't love, die, or become a nun. That's it. No wiggle room. It's absolutely brutal. So yeah, it's a desperate situation, and it calls for a desperate plan. This is where her true love Lysander steps up. He sees these impossible choices, and he's like, okay, no way, we're getting out of here. He cooks up this last-ditch effort to escape the law, but it's gonna involve a little betrayal. And honestly, the plan itself sounds pretty straightforward. Step 1, they're gonna run away to his aunt's house, which is like 7 leagues outside of Athens. Far enough that Athenian law can't touch them. Step 2, they just have to meet up in the woods at midnight to start their journey. Easy peasy, right? Yeah. No. So wrong. Because they made one tiny critical mistake. They told someone. And in a story this wound up, that's all it takes. Their secret is out, like immediately. So who's the betrayer? It's Hermia's best friend, Helena. Ugh. Now here's the twist. Helena is desperately, completely in love with Demetrius. Yep. The same guy Hermia is running away from. So in this act of pure desperation, she decides to rat them out to Demetrius. And why? What's her goal? It's kind of sad, actually. She just wants a chance to see him while he chases after them into the forest. That's it. Okay, so as if that's not enough drama for one forest, there's another group heading into the exact same woods. Let's talk about the clumsy thespians. These guys have no idea they're about to walk into a war zone. They're called the Mechanicals. They're basically a bunch of local workmen, kind of like a community theater group. Their leader is this weaver named Bottom, who is just hilariously over-the-top confident. All they want to do is find a nice, quiet spot in the woods to rehearse a play. They are so out of their league and completely, blissfully unaware of the chaos that's about to erupt around them. Right. Because let's go deeper into the forest where things get, well, supernatural. There's a war brewing in fairyland. The whole place is in turmoil. And this is the central conflict in the magical world. You've got Oberon, the king of the fairies, on one side and Titania, the queen of the fairies, on the other. And what are they fighting over? A changeling boy. Titania has him, and she's promised to raise him. But Oberon wants the boy for his own crew, and neither one is backing down. And get this, their little feud is having massive consequences for us humans. It's so bad that the seasons are literally out of whack. Their fight is causing floods, making crops fail. The human world is pretty much rotting because of their distemperature. This is way more than a simple argument. It's a full-on ecological disaster. So Oberon decides he's had enough. He wants revenge. And to get it, he calls in his secret weapon, his #1 henchman, the one and only mischievous Puck. And here we go. This is the moment. This is the recipe for disaster, where a little bit of magic and a big mistake are about to cause the mortal and supernatural worlds to collide in the most spectacular way you can imagine. So Oberon tells Puck to go find this magical flower. It's called love and idleness. The story goes that it was hit by one of Cupid's arrows by mistake. And its juice, oh man, its juice is powerful. If you squeeze it on someone's eyelids while they're sleeping, they will fall madly, deeply, obsessively in love with the very first thing they see when they wake up, no matter what it is. So what's Oberon's big plan for his queen, Titania? It's simple, and it's cruel. He's going to use this flower to make her fall in love with something totally vile, some random gross beast of the forest. He just wants to humiliate her. But then things get complicated. Just as this plan is getting started, Oberon happens to see Demetrius being absolutely horrible to Helena in the woods. She's weeping, he's rejecting her, and Oberon actually feels kind of bad for her. So he gets this new idea, a little side project. He tells Puck, hey, while you're at it, find that Athenian guy and put some of this love juice in his eyes too. The plan is to make Demetrius fall back in love with Helena, 2 birds, 1 stone. It sounds like a pretty perfect plan, right? He gets to humiliate his wife and fix this messy human love triangle all in one go. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Everything can go wrong because you've put this incredibly powerful magic in the hands of Puck. And that, well, that is a recipe for absolute disaster. So here's where we stand as the sun goes down and the magic starts to kick in. You've got the desperate lovers running for their lives. You've got the clueless actors trying to rehearse a play, and you've got the warring fairies with a magical love potion. They are all on a collision course in the same forest on the same night. And yeah, the course of true love is about to get so much rougher. And all of this chaos really just brings us to one huge question, doesn't it? When you smash together the strict, civilized world of human law with the wild, unpredictable world of magic, what even is love? Is it something you choose? Something that's decided for you? Or is it just a random magical accident waiting to happen? You know, a forest at midnight? You'd think it's a place of peace, right? Well, not this one. Tonight, it's about to become a total battleground. And the cause? Get this. 1 magical flower and 1 very, very confused fairy. This is where the story of A Midsummer Night's Dream really just goes off the rails. Alright, so here's the setup. The king of the fairies, Oberon, he's got this grand plan to sort out everyone's messy love lives. But, and this is a big but, he forgot one tiny, crucial little detail. His servant, Puck, the guy he sends to do the job, he has no idea what his target, this Athenian man, is actually supposed to look like. Yeah, that small oversight. It's about to have some seriously massive consequences. And right on cue, this is where it all kicks off. Puck zips through the woods, and what does he find? Lysander and Hermia, fast asleep. He spots the Athenian clothes, and he's like, perfect, job done. So he goes and anoints what he thinks are the right eyes. And just like that, the first domino has fallen. I mean, you can kind of see how it happened, right? It's a deceptively simple mistake. Oberon's instructions were, you know, pretty clear, but the ID was based on something as flimsy as what a guy was wearing. So Puck, he just drops the liquor of the flower into Lysander's eyes, and with that one single drop, the chaos has officially begun. And the timing? Ugh, the timing is just perfect. Or well, perfectly terrible, depending on how you look at it. Just as Lysander's eyes flutter open, who happens to wander by? Helena. The potion hits him instantly. We're not talking a slow burn here. This is a magical lightning bolt, straight to the heart. The change is wow. It's immediate, and it's total. I mean, 1 second, Lysander is completely devoted to Hermia, and the very next, he's actively disowning that love. He actually says he repents every single minute he ever spent with her. Can you even imagine her shock? This really shows you how powerful that potion is. It's absolute. He doesn't just fall for Helena. He declares she's the worthier love, a superior choice. But for poor Helena, you know, she's been rejected by literally everyone. This sudden adoration, it just feels like a really cruel joke. So, the lovers' lives are a complete mess. You think Puck's work is done here, right? Oh, no way. His appetite for mischief is just getting warmed up. Because nearby, there's a group of, let's say, amateur actors, and they're rehearsing a play. They're about to become the perfect new stage for his chaos. So Puck singles out the most confident, kind of loud one of the group, a weaver named Bottom. And with just a flick of his wrist, poof, he transforms Bottom's head into that of a literal donkey. Just like that, the weaver becomes an ass. You can guess what happens next. His friends see this monstrosity, and they do what any sane person would do. They flee, screaming in terror. But Bottom? He's completely unaware of his new look. He just thinks they're playing a prank on him. So to prove how brave he is, he just stays put and starts singing at the top of his lungs. And guess who his lovely singing wakes up? None other than Queen Titania herself, who, by the way, has just been drugged with that very same love potion by her husband, Oberon. So the very first thing she sees is a man with a donkey's head, and she falls instantly, deeply, madly in love. The absurdity of this moment is it's fantastic. I mean, you have the Queen of the Fairies ordering her attendants to pamper a common weaver with a donkey head. She wants them to feed him these amazing delicacies, wait on him hand and foot, and lead this vile thing, as Oberon calls him, straight to her private bedroom. It's just wild. Okay, so let's check back in with our humans. The situation there is completely spiraling out of control. Oberon finally realizes Puck messed up, drugged the wrong guy, so he decides he's going to fix it himself. Spoiler alert, his solution is basically pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. So what's his big fix? He puts the potion on Demetrius' eyes too. So now you've got two men, Lysander and Demetrius, aggressively, passionately chasing after Helena, swearing their undying love. And poor Hermia? She's just left standing there, totally alone and completely bewildered. But you gotta see it from Helena's point of view. Her reality has been so shaped by rejection that she just can't believe this is real. She doesn't feel loved, she feels attacked. She's absolutely convinced that all three of them, Lysander, Demetrius, and even her best friend Hermia, are in on it together, in a confederacy, a grand conspiracy, just to make fun of her. And at this point, with all that pain, all that confusion, and all that magically induced passion, it can only go one way. The tension finally just explodes, and we get a furious four-way fight. Hermia absolutely loses it. She feels so betrayed. She actually tries to physically attack Helena, just screaming insults at her, calling her a trickster, a juggler who's somehow cheated her way into Lysander's heart. And the insults just get more and more vicious. She calls Helena a canker blossom, which is basically like a disease on a flower, a blight, a thief who has crept in and stolen Lysander's love. I mean, their friendship is just in tatters at this point. So now we have the ultimate reversal. It's a perfect storm that just shows you how fickle, how almost violent love can be under this potion's influence. You have these two guys who were just rivals for Hermia, and now they're ready to duel to the death over Helena. The whole course of true love thing? Yeah, it hasn't just gone off the rails. It has crashed and burned spectacularly. And the architect of all this chaos? Where's he? No, Puck's just watching from the sidelines, like some amused god looking down at his own little creation. For him, this isn't a tragedy, it's entertainment, it's theater. He's watching their passion, their pain, their confusion, and he delivers that famous line, his verdict on all of us. Lord, what fools these mortals be. Okay, but even for the kin of the fairies, this has maybe gone a little too far. The guys storm off to find a place to duel to the death, and Oberon realizes, whoa, I have to step in before someone gets seriously hurt. It is time for a major magical intervention. So Oberon comes up with a plan. Step 1. Cover the entire forest in a super thick, disorienting fog. Step 2. Get Puck to imitate the guys' voices, leading them on this crazy wild goose chase until they're hopelessly lost and totally separated. Step 3. Just wait until all four of them, completely exhausted, finally fall asleep. And then, the final step, administer the antidote. It's a pretty solid plan, right? But everything hinges on that last step. Which of course brings us to the big lingering question. The stage is all set for this massive magical reset, a chance to put everything right again. But it all comes down to one mischievous, let's be honest, mistake-prone fairy. So can Puck possibly get the antidote right this time? Or is this night of madness actually far from over? The sun's starting to peek through, and you just know all that enchanting chaos in the forest is about to come to a pretty spectacular end. And yeah, the breaking point has absolutely been reached. While our four young lovers are just passed out in the fog, completely exhausted, the fairy king, Oberon, he's finally decided his cruel little prank on his queen has gone on long enough. He's had it with this vile joke. So the main conflict in the fairy world, that's pretty much settled now. Titania finally gives Oberon the human child she'd been protecting. And with that out of the way, Oberon sets out to reverse the spell. It is time to bring his queen back to her senses. So how's he gonna do it? With this right here, Diane's bud. Remember that original love potion that caused all this trouble in the first place? Well, this magical little herb is the antidote. All it takes is a single touch to Titania's eyes, and that powerful enchantment will be undone. And just like that, poof, the spell is broken. Titania wakes up, and what's the first thing she sees? Bottom, with his ridiculous donkey head. And let me tell you, she now sees him with absolute loathing. She immediately reconciles with Oberon, and with their reunion, the whole supernatural war is over. Finally, the seasons can get back to their natural rhythm. Now, Puck's solution for the humans is, well, it's pretty fascinating. He applies the antidote to Lysander, so boom, he's back in love with Hermia. But, and this is the key part, he leaves Demetrius enchanted. He just lets that spell ride, making sure Demetrius stays devoted to Helena. It creates this perfect balance, sure, but it's a happy ending built on a magical illusion. Kinda makes you question the nature of love itself, doesn't it? Okay, so as the fairy magic starts to settle, let's turn our attention back to the mortal world. At dawn, Duke Theseus and his hunting party, they stumble upon a really strange sight. Our 4 young lovers, all sleeping peacefully together in a forest clearing. But hold on a second. Remember, there is still one major problem. That rigid Athenian law, the one that Hermia's father, Aegis, is so obsessed it still dictates that she must marry Demetrius or face death. So how can this new arrangement possibly work out? So how is this all resolved? Well, honestly, the magic does most of the heavy lifting. The still enchanted Demetrius just straight up renounces his claim to Hermia. And when Duke Theseus sees this perfect, gentle concord between the couples, he makes a bold move. He just overrules Hermia's stubborn father and declares a triple wedding for everybody. Problem solved by royal decree. But let's not forget about our favorite workman, right? Bottom wakes up too, all alone in the woods. And thankfully for him, his donkey head is gone, replaced by his own. But he is just utterly bewildered by the whole night. He's completely convinced he's experienced something profound, what he calls a most rare vision. But he just can't make any sense of it. And this is such a brilliant way to show the lingering effect of the forest's magic. It's something that is truly past the wit of man to say what dream it was. So what does he do? He just decides to book it back to Athens. And would you believe it? He gets back just in the nick of time. The wedding feast is in full swing, and it's time for the entertainment. That's right, Bottom and his friends are about to perform their play, the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe. This is going to be good. And the play is, oh, it's everything you'd hope for, a total hilarious disaster. We're talking a man playing a wall with actual plaster on his hands to be the chink in the wall. We've got another actor playing a lion who has to assure all the noble ladies in the audience that he's not a real lion and won't actually eat them. It is the absolute perfect comedic release after all the tension and fear of the woods. So, as the Duke and the lovers are watching this hilariously bad play, they have this really profound realization. The shadows they're watching on stage are just as unbelievable as the visions they all experienced in the forest. The play basically shows them that art and dreams, and even their own reality are all tangled up together, and not so easily separate. But wait, the night isn't quite over yet. As the clock strikes 12, the mortals all head off to wed, leaving the stage completely clear for one last magical act. Yup, as that iron tongue of midnight rings out, signaling the beginning of the fairy hour, the supernatural world returns to give its final blessing. Oberon, Titania, and their entire fairy court, they emerge one last time. They move right through the Duke's palace, blessing the house, and all 3 of the new marriages. They're making sure the couple's future children will be perfect, with no blots of nature's hand to mar them. And finally, just one character steps forward to address us, the audience, directly. And of course, it's Puck, the mischievous sprite who caused so much of the chaos in the first place. And he has one last thing he wants to say. He gives us this famous final bit of advice. If we, the audience, were offended by this wild and unbelievable story, we should just dismiss it. Just think of it as nothing more than a dream that happened while we slumbered here. So the really crucial point here is that the terrible star-crossed luck of the lovers has been completely reversed. What started out as a potential tragedy has been transformed into a joyful comedy. It kind of proves that while love can be a knavish lad, a little bit of magic and maybe a whole lot of luck can turn a nightmare into an absolute masterpiece. And this leaves us with one final, lingering question to chew on. The whole play suggests that our experiences with love are just as strange and fleeting as a dream. So, if that's true, what happens when we finally wake up? That concludes our look at A Midsummer Night's Dream. Want the full book? Visit the Atheneum Hub link below.